All right, let's do an audio check. How is everybody tonight? Okay, let's get everything started. Let's do an audio check. Good, thank you, Driss. The Kahun Asian. Good evening, everybody. It's an amazing night tonight. I might have a little surprise type thing in the market. We'll see how the markets go. I have a trade going, but let's talk about gold. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Welcome to Slow Markets, everybody. I'm Coach Dakota, Coach DBA. As always, there's our top step risk disclosure. It's not a signals class. We all know that. Everything that I go over tonight is for educational purposes only. But let's dive into it. Here is gold. Talking about gold, we've had a huge rally today. We are at this little zone of resistance. We found that resistance, and we're right there again. We're right near this resistance, and this is an hourly chart. And let's zoom into a 5-minute chart, and let's see if we could find a good trade going on. I'm still going to be in my simulated account. So here we go. Simulated accounts, 5-minute chart. Immediately, I first see this level at 23.79.5 as being a key pivot. And then I see another one at, a key pivot at 23.75 and 7/10. So this little zone right here. I'm going to be watching these two areas, up at the top, down at the bottom, looking for either a breakout or breakdown. Next, let's continue to zoom in and let's see if we could find a trade. We have, let's see. What do we have? We have like 3 minutes until the slow markets technically starts, the 8 p.m. slow markets. So that's what I'm looking for. You can see these pivots highlighted pretty well. I'm actually, let's watch. Let's see what happens. We've started to break out already. We're starting to rally a little bit on gold. So maybe the longs pay here. Maybe it's a long play to the long side. And while we're doing that, let's pull up this DOM, depth of market. Let me zoom in a little bit for everybody. Now remember, I'm learning the depth of market. I'm not an amazing DOM trader like Coach Jay or my buddy Rips, but I'm learning, and I don't mind pulling it up and watching it, and maybe let's look at it for a little bit. So I see a lot of liquidity up there at 79. I see some liquidity at 23.80. There's not much to the downside. So does that mean we could be biased to the long side? And we could, maybe the long side's going to pay here. Maybe we're favoring the long side. Let's watch. So I do see maybe there's something to play a role right here at 23.78 and a third. If we start to break above that, that could be a good entry. Let's watch this. Let's watch it. Waiting for me to blush again. We'll see, guys. I might pull up something that's really special I have brewing going on in the background in my live account. I'm short the Nasdaq. Let's just say that. I'm short the Nasdaq in my live account. Me being a bear lately. We'll see how it plays out. I might pull it up. But we'll watch. 2 minutes till the open. I am actually going to like this. I like this pivot. I like this if we do break out to the long side. So maybe a buy stop up here. I do like that already to see if we can make a run for these highs and get this liquidity. I see two areas, the 23.80, 23.79. But I do like this. If we do drop, maybe we're getting a little bit closer. So if we start to zoom in, maybe there's something to be said on this little pivot point right here at 23.77 and a tenth. So 27. So maybe there. Maybe I'm looking at something around this zone to where if we break down, we get in short. If we break up, we get in long. And now remember, this is still a demo account. I'm testing this out. I'm going to be testing out for a little bit longer just to see how the statistics are, and you guys can see how I manage it, and I talk through this, and I'm able to answer some questions. Hopefully I'm able to answer some questions. So here we go. We're getting some volatility. Let's see here. Okay, so we did break down. I was a little bit slow. I didn't pull the trigger. So either that was a trade, or I'm going to go ahead and put a buy stop. So let's go ahead and put a buy stop at these highs. If we do reverse, I want to be getting triggered into the long side because I missed the short, right? So the short's already passed me. I mean, if you want to get in, I mean, it's technically still there. But I'm a little bit, I still kind of think it might break up to the long side, just looking at this liquidity. But maybe the shorts were the play. Like if we would have got in, we could have got in if I was fast enough and I had an order to get in on the break, then getting it at 2377.1 was the play. That could have been it. The more I look at it, the more it's looking like that was the case. What's your thoughts, guys? Yeah, let me know. Like I said, we have an amazing moderator team, and they're always feeding me the questions that I do miss. So let me know what your thoughts are. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one and get rid of this one. And maybe there's still a play to the long side here. We're kind of just being a little bit choppy. We just opened up, what is it, 2 minutes ago? Only 1 minute ago. So immediately now, I like this as, you know, if we do get triggered into a long, this would be a good area for a stop loss. Or maybe it's a good area to get in short. Someone's short on gold, just buy it. Yeah, it is tempting to just say just buy it, but I want to be getting in with a reason in terms of the way that I look at the market from a technical standpoint. So from a technical standpoint, it's I just cannot see myself just buying it. I'm short. Shorts are looking pretty good. Shorts so far was the play of that breakdown of the 2377 and a tenth. So that being said, I missed it. If you guys caught it, great, amazing. Maybe there was an argument to get in at the break of this pivot around, 75.7. There might be an argument to get in short on that break, but I think that was the trade. Get in short at 2377.1. Have a stop loss above, 78.7, 78. Like somewhere above, that little high that we was looking to reverse and get in long. So I think that was the play. Now let's see how it works out. So if I was going to get triggered in, that would have been the area, maybe with a little bit of slippage. Let's just say have to account for a little bit of slippage, right? So let's see how this plays tonight. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. And let's go into our regular session of slow markets. We'll do the fun rapid fire with the Nasdaq, crude oil, Nikkei, and all that fun stuff. And we'll continue to monitor this trade to see if, this gold short would play out really well. Let's actually think about take profits real quick. So immediately I'm liking the take profits down here around 2371. There's a lot of support in this zone. The first take profit maybe a nice 1-to-1. There's an argument to take profit at 74.7 because there is some resistance that possibly could become support. So those are the two areas of take profits that I am looking at is 74.7 and then down here around 71, 72 zone. But let's look. And like I said, there's a reason why I'm doing this in the demo account. There's a reason why we're doing this live, so I could analyze this. I could just walk through what I'm thinking on getting into a trade and what we're looking at here. So it's starting to look like a breakout or a fake out. We'll see. I do like not moving a stop until it either hits my stop loss or makes another pivot. I think I'm going to continue to just let this trade play out. It's either going to hit my stop loss or we're going to go down here and maybe hit our take profits. But anyway, let's move on. Keep an eye on gold. We'll see how it plays. Maybe this is the first loser or maybe a second loser. I don't know. It's not really a big move on gold. and see if we could find some reason to, if we do take a loss, the entry is, this was the entry. Let me see if I could edit this, because yeah, I could see how it's confusing. This would be the entry. I'll change it. I know it's very hard to see, and I didn't get in. So that was the entry, short, 23.77, then a stop loss at say 23.78, and then I have two take profits down here. The first one at 74, the second one at 72. So let's let this play out. We'll talk through it. If it's a loss, we'll continue to talk through it, and maybe we could find a reason to say, you know what, we should have never looked at taking a short because we are in an uptrend. I don't know. There's also things that we could look at and say, you know, with hindsight and the power of hindsight, saying, oh, if we lost that trade, why did we lose it? You know, did we get in too early? Did we get in too late? Was there something that could have told us to stay out of the market? I don't know. There's so much to talk through on a trade, but let's start talking about these other markets. Here we go. We have the Nasdaq. Let's do the daily on the Nasdaq. Everybody knows I'm starting. I know I've been a bear this past 3-4 days, and I gotta admit, today was one of my most profitable days in the past 3 years. It really was, and I was short the Nasdaq, or I was okay. And I want to make sure I explain this, really clear. I hit my daily loss limit on my Topstep account. So I did hit my daily loss limit on my Topstep account. I hit it Tuesday night, which is technically Wednesday, and I wasn't able to trade it Wednesday. I wasn't able to trade it today. So I was locked out of my Topstep account because of me hitting my daily loss limit. So I focused on my personal. I got into some options on QQQ, which follows the Nasdaq. And let me see if I could find a screenshot. And I made quite a bit of money on this short today, and I was pretty excited. Made me feel a lot better after being in a drawdown. Let me see if I could find this screenshot. Give me just a moment. And if you don't know options or don't understand options, I mean, that's fine. You don't have to think about it too much. Let's go. Screenshots. Save. Okay, here was here's my options position. You might be able to see it. This was in one day. I had some puts in QQQ, and I made just over 160,000 today. In my options position for this one. I also sold some calls, and so it was just like, you know what, I locked out of my Topstep account, but I do trade options in my personal account, and it was a really good day. It made me really happy, obviously. So that was great. It was amazing. It felt good. I'm still bearish. I think this was a very, very bearish candle. We rallied up. We made all-time highs, and we sold off all the way down to the 20,000 level. I've been looking at the 20,000 level, and we hit it today. It was really, it felt a little different being so short and just looking from the short side because I'm a bull, right? I'm a permanent bull. But there's something to be said that, this is very healthy for the markets to sell off like this. It really is. It really is, in terms of just, I'm not saying we're going to sell off. We're still in a bullish trend. We're still, buy the dip mentality, but we definitely needed a day like this. Maybe we have a deeper pullback. I'm not sure. Some areas of interest that I'm looking at is definitely going to be this consolidation that we had, June 13th and June 14th. So maybe we could come back down and test the 19,900s. Maybe this is a little bit more of a stretch, is maybe we see 19,760 to 800s on the downside. So this is the zone, the consolidation that we had on these 2 days that I could possibly be watching and be looking at if we continue to sell off. So that's where I'm hesitating. Tomorrow's Friday. Maybe we do see a lot more volatility on a Friday. I'm going to be on TopstepTV Fast Markets with MP and Coach Jay. So it's going to be very interesting. But I do have a bearish bias. We had the consolidation, a nice run of liquidity to the highs, and then straight back down. And we did see that break of 20,000, and I would not be surprised if we go back down towards 20,000, maybe hover around there, or even break down a little bit further tomorrow. So that's what I'm watching at. And if we zoom into, say, a 60-minute chart, an hourly chart, you can kind of see it play out. I mean, it was just very one directional, right? Like look at this. We consolidated. We had this beautiful break out of this consolidation, and it was just sell off. And now maybe this is what I'm looking. Maybe this is a nice little pullback. And then do we have a continuation down? I am short the Nasdaq right now in my live account. So, and I am looking for a play of this key psychological 20,000 level. So maybe we could get to 20,000 between tonight and tomorrow, maybe during London session. I'm not sure. But I'm looking at this as a pullback. I'm looking at this as a pullback. Right now, the main candle that I am looking at is this one right here that we made at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can see that this is the high of the candle at basically, 80. So this is the high at right around 80. The low is about 58. And so anything inside these two levels is kind of just consolidation. And sometimes a good play of consolidation is sell the highs and look to buy the lows. But since we've kind of been in an intermediate downtrend and we broke all these lows from the past few days, week or so, we broke through them, then it's reasonable to say I'm going to continue to be short biased. Now, let's move on to, you guys want to see my short position in my live account? Give me a second. I'll pull it up. You get to see my short position in my live account. I don't know. It just takes a minute to load. But it was this play that I just talked about. I have my stop loss right around 80. Here's my short position in my live account. So we'll see if we get a push down to 20,000. This is my live account. 15, yeah. So we'll see how this goes between tonight and tomorrow. I would love to have a runner. I'm going to monitor it before I go to bed. I didn't top tick it. I'll show you what I was looking at if you guys really want to know what I was looking at. So basically the same thing on a 5-minute chart, right? We have these nice resistance, and we started to rally up there again during the Asian session. And then I zoomed into, say, a 1-minute chart, and essentially I seen a higher low forming, or a lower high. So we made this pivot, and then we broke down, and then we made another one, right? A sell-off. And then as soon as we started to rally and we showed some type of resistance, I went ahead and got in at, I had to actually average in because 30 contracts would push the market too far against me, and I wouldn't get it as great of a fill price. So I did have to kind of average in order of blocks of, I think it was like 10, 5, 5. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, we'll see. I'm looking for us to continue to sell off. Maybe we get to 20,000 tonight. Maybe we could come down to these lows and we could test. I'm not sure. I'm going to watch it and I'm going to monitor this one closely. This is going to be something where I am going to be actively monitoring it. Maybe I just put my stop loss near like break even or something. I might go to bed with this on. I'm not 100% sure. Some of my best trades is where I would go to bed with it on, and the next thing we know, we break these lows and we're down 100 or 200 points in this type of a trade. So on top of my options today, and now this tonight, it's been it's been a really good Thursday for me. So we'll see how this plays. You guys feel free to keep monitoring this. If you see any sporadic movements, like most likely you won't because I have it up here on my phone. But let's continue with our slow markets class. So give me a second. I got to log back into that. Yeah, let the profit run. One of the worst things I learned the hard way is just closing my winning trades out too fast. And it's very easy to close winning trades out too fast because as soon as you see profit, I mean, it depends on the market environment, right? Because if we're choppy and we're consolidating, then it's just, if you see profit, take profit, and it's okay to do it. Some instances when we start to get a good momentum day, then there can be opportunities to leave some runners on. And maybe in this position, I might close off 15 or 20 contracts and then let a portion of it run overnight. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. I'll make that decision probably before I go to bed and depending on what this market does. But I do like the way it's acting right now. Yeah, no, don't worry. I will sleep good. I used to not be able to sleep really well, but knowing when I'll go to bed, I'll make sure I have my stop loss, and I've learned that sleep is a lot more important than money, or at least more important than trading. And I haven't had to worry too much about waking up into the middle of the night just to manage a position. So I try and do all my management before I go to bed, and then I'm happy with it, and then I go to sleep and then just let it run. So anyway, let's talk about crude oil. Crude oil on the 60-minute chart. We're kind of seeing what I was looking at, but there has not been any opportunities to get in long in the way that I was seeing it. I was wanting crude oil to at least sell off, maybe back down to 80s, maybe 80, I don't know, somewhere a little bit lower to give me an opportunity to buy it. It hasn't. It has not gave me the opportunity to get in long crude, and we've been in a very bullish trending market. You could see this is a nice healthy market where we have rallies, pullbacks, and I do love this kind of a market. However, I was looking for a little bit deeper of a pullback, which we never did get, to give me that risk reward that I was wanting. Maybe I was a little bit too passive and not aggressive enough in oil so far, but I think it's the same thing. One thing I did notice is we have a nice support and resistance zone right here in crude oil, right around 81, that we might get a nice sell-off from. But if not, and we break above, then like I said, the targets that I was looking at around $83 a barrel is starting to look more and more probable. But no trades on oil for me. It's going to just be hands off on crude, just waiting for some type of a pullback and way to get into the market. Nikkei, the Japanese market, it's been very, very rough. I haven't placed any trades on Nikkei for a long time. And a long time, I'm saying a few weeks, maybe even a month. But this price action, look, we just made another high. It's not been very good. And I haven't been focusing on Nikkei. I haven't placed any trades on the Nikkei. And until I start to see it move more, I think I'm going to talk about it less. So nothing really going on the Nikkei for me and my point of view. Just lots of chop, and it's very difficult to trade the way that I am viewing it. Gold. Oh, there we go. That gold short. So we hit the first take profit. I would be happy moving my stop loss to maybe 77.4, just right around that pivot that we was looking at. So that was a great trade on gold, on that gold short. So first take profit hit, and now we kind of trail it. I'm actually liking my trailing stop maybe below that pivot, and then my stop loss would be in profit. It's basically a winner, and man, I should just be taking these gold trades in my live account. I mean, it's been working out, but yeah, I love doing this with you guys. I really do. I mean, this is a beautiful trade, a beautiful setup. And it worked out again. And man, I think if this is very, very consistent, I hope you guys are seeing this and hopefully it helps you. Like I said, it's not a signals class, but hopefully this kind of gives you an idea of how boring trading is, in the aspect of it's the same thing every single night, right? Every single night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, a little bit before then, you log in, you do the same exact thing, the same exact routine, and it's boring as heck. And it's the same thing, copy paste, doing this every single night, that the trade sets up. You be patient. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. You get stopped out. Not every single one of them are winners, but this gold trade has been just great. Yeah, let's see. I like trailing this stop. I'm going to go ahead and say that this pivot would be a nice place to put a stop loss. Let's see if we do start to sell off again, then this pivot right here at 74 and the 7th or somewhere in this zone might be the next area that I move my stop loss, but we're already in profit. However many contracts you can imagine closing it out there. And yeah. Oh, that was the take profit, right? I don't want to close out my take profit. I think it was down there. So let's just continue to watch this gold trade play out. And let me talk about ES for a minute, and then we'll get to some questions. ES, very similar to the Nasdaq. I mean, just kind of, we didn't really get to the highs, so maybe there's an argument because Nasdaq got to the highs of the New York session. ES did not. So maybe does that mean that the ES is more bearish than the Nasdaq? I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm going to watch the ES. I don't really have too much of an opinion on ES tonight because I've been so focused on Nasdaq for obvious reasons. But here on the 60-minute, we see a lot of indecisive candles. So we had this huge sell-off. And then look at all these indecisive candles right at this key level, 55.40s, right? 55.40s, 55.45. This is such a key level here in the ES. Now, that being said, a technical pattern that I do see sometimes is when we get a sell-off and then we get kind of just this hesitation. Sometimes I do see a continuation. And if we do get a big continuation, maybe we come down here to these highs around the 55, maybe 55.18, 19, down to 55.10. So that is something that I'm going to be watching on the ES, is if we get this consolidation, and if we start to break down, we could see kind of consolidation and break the opposite direction. And I'm looking at all this from the bearish perspective, but from the bulls and from the long side, yeah, we're sitting here at support. You could technically say this is support. We're failing to break down, and this is showing up as support again. And so from the long side, there is definitely something to be said that maybe we get, have a rally and a continuation or rotation up towards 55.60s. So there is something to be said on the long side of this because of that support. And because we've failed to hold down below and stay below this support zone around 55.40s. So I'm going to be watching that tonight and tomorrow, of course. And of course, I'm biased. I would really love for us to continue and test these lows. The same with the Nasdaq as well. I'd love for the Nasdaq to push and continue to test the lows. So we shall see. So that being said, I think I covered just about everything. We'll watch this gold trade, and I'll get to some questions, and we'll go from there. So all of these questions, let's get to them. Okay, is level 2 gold data especially useful during slow markets, considering that there are so many gold markets around the globe that also move price? I genuinely don't know. So I'm going to say I have a little bit of an idea. I don't have enough confidence in saying yes or no. I know Coach Jay and Rips would definitely be the two that has a lot more experience of reading level 2 data than I do. But if you can find an advantage using level 2 data during slow markets, then yeah, anything's useful, right? There's no wrong or right way for doing that. Are you ready for a challenge with Vinny E. Mini on July? You announced on May 17th that you're looking for a challenge. I don't know the exact date I announced for a challenge, but yeah, I'm open to it. The main goal for the reason why I put a challenge out there is because I want to continue to bring transparency. There's a lot of crazy things out there on the internet, and I 100% want what do you say? My goal is to help traders, and if there can be a fun way to show traders that there's a competitive environment, and we could show you as all the trades and executions, and have that fun competitive challenge, I think is nice. It would be very nice, and I really like that aspect. And then on the other side, it's always fun to talk a little smack and like, oh well, you won't want to challenge me because you're scared, or like in the middle of the challenge, maybe I lose, and then someone gets to say, oh, I beat Coach Dakota, and it's always fun, right? But everything that I plan to do, and the whole goal of it is to benefit the community and have some fun and enjoy ourselves, right? CLT, you passed another combine. Congratulations. Netflix. Dakota, how much did it cost to enter that put option? It cost me about 10,000 to enter that put option. Just seeing the way gold moves at this time is great because I never used to trade in the evenings, but now it's like a thing. Yeah, so that's the beauty of slow markets is there is a way to take advantage of overnight movements. This gold trade in particular, it's not really an overnight trade. The Nasdaq trade that I have going is more of an overnight trade where I have a stop loss, up near these highs, and I'm looking for Nasdaq to rotate down towards 20,000. That is more of an overnight trade where I'll set a trade and then I'll put a stop loss, put a take profit, and then I'll go to bed. But this gold trade is relatively new to me because it's been happening at 8 p.m. Central Time at the start of my slow markets. And everybody in the chat, I wish I knew exactly who pointed it out first because they deserve the credit. And they said, it's kind of weird. Every time you start your slow markets, gold sells off. And sure enough, we started to watch this. And every time I started my slow markets, gold was selling off. It was really weird. And it's turning into a really great, conversation piece and way to make a trade and possibly have a good trade out of it and make some money because it's been profitable and it's been really it's been really good. So I do, and just watching this gold now is I do like these pivots that we've just made. We finding some nice resistance here at 2374.8. So I'm okay with moving my stop loss down. Because remember, this is a quick trade. This is not an overnight trade. This is one I don't plan on holding for very long and even consider time stopping myself out. So I very well would be okay with locking in more profits. I'm liking this pivot. We also made another one right there at 23.75. So if we do break up, then I'm okay with just exiting it. And we'll continue to trail this down if gold wants to continue to sell off. Which platform I'm using? I am using NinjaTrader 8, but behind the scenes when I'm testing stuff out, I am using TopstepX. TopstepX has been great. I'm just not 100% comfortable with doing all my drawing, and to be able to teach a class without thinking too much, I'm just comfortable with this platform right now. And myself and MP will always say, use the platform you're comfortable with. If you're new, maybe try out TopstepX. TopstepX is really, really great, and it's continuing to improve. It's awesome. Mr. Campbell, what makes gold move? More buyers and sellers, liquidity. 8 p.m. It sounds like overseas markets are moving. I can't really tell you what goes on behind the scenes on why an instrument is moving, particularly why. For example, like right now, why did gold sell off? I don't know. It's just 8 p.m. We see a spike in volatility, and we're trying to take advantage of one movement in either the long side or the long or short, right? I don't have any idea of why it's selling or why it would rally. So I hope that makes sense. I know that's not the answer you wanted. It really is. Like, it doesn't really matter the reasoning behind of the why. We're just trading what's in front of us. With the volume of slow markets versus fast markets, would you say that the price action respects key levels in the same way, or do you find subtle differences? I would say price action typically respects support and resistance in the same way, regardless of fast or slow markets. I think that's a fair assumption, but there is little subtleties between the New York session and the Asian session and then the London session, because of the volatility and the volume, right? All right, here we go. Let's see if we can hit this next take profit. Man, what another beautiful gold trade. It's been banger after banger on these gold trades. It's been very fun and very, I think this gold trade, I don't know. Let me know, guys. Actually, let's do a poll because I'm curious. Has this gold trade helped your trading? Or has this gold trade analysis helped your trading? I'm really curious. Like, what has been your thoughts? Like, has this benefited you in any way? Not just, it's not a signal, right? Like, just join slow markets and we're going to get a signal, but the overall concept, right? Because you could trade Nasdaq like this, you could trade crude oil like this, but the overall concept of getting into a trade, managing the trade, moving your stop loss, doing take profits, looking at different time frames, right? An hourly, a 5 minute, and now we're looking and watching and managing my trailing stop on a 1 minute. Because it's more of the concept and the understanding. Like, it's repetitive, it's boring, it's the same thing over and over and over again to understand consistency. And we started out just finding out, like, oh, gold moves at this time. Okay, well, how can we take advantage of it? Can we take advantage of it? Is there money to be made? Is it worth it? Can the statistics hold itself? And I think so far so good. Like, the statistics is looking really good. And like, I think that just tapped this take profit down here. And that was a successful trade. And it's been really fun for me as a trader to discover this, even at this point in time with the markets how they are. I mean, this has been one of a kind. I cannot think of a better way to say this. This is definitely a one of a kind type trade. So there we go. This is my entry up here, or it would have been. It's not my exact entry because I missed it, right? It would have been the breakdown, and I added some slippage to it. Our one take profit hit, and this take profit just hit. If you still had another contract, then yeah, there's definitely a reason to keep trailing this, because now if we start to break down this support, we could see 2370. Maybe we even see some of these lows. Like, we could keep selling off here in gold. And yeah, that. Oh, there we go. There we go. Look at that. Man, what a move. Man, that's just so fun. That is just, this is why we love trade. This is why I love trading, is these examples, and to be able to just make money out of just nothing, right? Just, wow. Another amazing example tonight. I love it. I mean, look at this. Gold just continuing to sell off. And if you held a runner, bravo. Bravo if you were able to take a trade like this and hold a runner. it's something else. I haven't seen anything. Well, I have, but not at this time of night. This has been great, to say the least. I can't say enough good things about it. I'm so happy that you guys brought this to me, and we've had this beautiful opportunity to experience going over. As someone who wants to help traders, like, you can't think of another better experience or example on how to build kind of a strategy over a trade that you just discover with the community. So I'm basically discovering this trade with you guys, which is awesome. All right, so a few more things and we'll get to some more questions. Everybody, hopefully you know. If you don't know, then the Topstep Discord, we have the new Topstep AI support in Topstep's Discord. There's that new AI support that has been helping. I've seen it's helped me a few times. Get some questions answered. So in Topstep's Discord, there's some rooms on the left-hand side. I even have a room myself that I'm trying to be more active in and be able to answer questions for. It's just under Coach Dakota. Each of the coaches have a room. And then there's the new AI. The Discord's amazing. It's an amazing community, and I'm trying to be more active in there. It's difficult to me because I'm so busy. Tomorrow I did find out that I think one of the risk managers, who was it? Not Brett. I think Ben. Yeah, Ben is going to be doing Roast My Trades. Maybe he'll roast my trades this week. I don't know. But I love the Roast My Trades segment. I heard that he's going to be doing it again. I'm going to be watching that. That's always fun to hear the risk managers roast trades. I know Mick roasted me before. I got a little bit of payback. Maybe Ben gets to roast me today, and hopefully I get some payback with this Nasdaq short. Let's get to a few more questions. We're just past the halfway mark. So probably we have more time because I've been starting my class a little bit early, which has been good. I've liked it. Matt, when do I start increasing your size like this? I'm not sure what you mean by increasing your size like this. I try and scale in and scale out depending about like my account size, the particular trade, trying to evolve everything around risk. And I went through a little bit in depth last night. I wouldn't say, what do I say? How do I put this, right? Because I have so many people in this room and in my class where I just want to say, like, don't do as I do as I say kind of thing. Is that fair to say? Is like, just don't do what I do. It's not for the faint of heart. I wouldn't recommend that to anyone. Start small, start slow, and consistent. And once you start consistently making money and you get a payout, and then you transfer to a live account, and then you're comfortable in a live account trading, then you can have that conversation with one of the risk managers and say, I would like to scale my account. Maybe you go from 1 contract to 2 contracts, and then you try and duplicate that where, say you're making $1,000 a week with 1 contract, and then you take payouts and you're consistent, and then you have that confidence to do $2,000 a week with 2 contracts, for example. And then maybe in 3-4 months, you go to 3 contracts. I would not recommend scaling fast. If anything, I would say in 3 months, if you're consistent, then I would consider scaling. And then maybe another 3 months, scale again, and another 3 months, maybe even 6 months. That might be, and I know you guys don't want to hear that because I've went from a combine to, trading 30 contracts in like 3 or 4 months, just because I know I've done that in my personal accounts. I'm comfortable doing it, and I've had conversations with risk managers, and that's something I did. But for somebody who's new, who's learning how to trade in a prop account, I know you don't want to hear it, but 3 to 6 months, of good, consistent trading, and then think about scaling up. Oh, I did say I had some news today, right? So yeah, here is, I mean, take it as you will. It's news for me, and it's new, and maybe it's going to be something fun. Is I have a flight booked to go to Vegas. So I am going to be going to Vegas next week on Friday. So after fast markets next week, Friday morning, I will be flying out to Vegas. Maybe I will be able to get together with Rips and we'll do something like a fun dual stream or something. Like I said, to be determined. There's a lot of fun details that we could still plan out and get a bunch of stuff together. But yeah, we're gonna have some fun. And yeah, there's the Rips. But I have my flight booked for next week, and maybe I'll be spending a little bit more time down there, and I catch some of the World Series of Poker and get to watch my favorite Daniel Negreanu play. Yeah, I've been watching Daniel Negreanu's streams and vlogs, and he's definitely one of my favorite poker players. Yeah, I don't play roulette. I don't play poker. Blackjack. I don't play any casino games that favor the house, which is all of them, basically all of them. The only thing that I would ever play is poker, because I'm not playing against the house. I'm playing against another person, and I could have the odds in my favor. And to me, it's not. I don't view it as gambling. I don't see that as gambling. It's the same as trading, right? Because trading, it's not guaranteed. We put our money into the market when we believe we have a statistical advantage. And I believe that's the same when you're playing Texas Hold'em, is you put your money into the pot when you believe you have a statistical advantage, or you have the probabilities that have a positive expectancy over a long run. So not gambling. Hope that makes sense. Rips, you're buying your seats for tomorrow's World Series of Poker tournament. Oh, well, that's something I'm going to be interested in hearing and watching about. Rip's going to be joining the World Series of Poker. Statistical bluff, Todd. I mean, you can't really bluff the markets unless you're spoofing, but it's the same idea, right? Steve, you'd probably beat me in heads-up poker. I'm not good at heads-up poker. I'm one to sit at like the 1-2 or 3-5 limits, no limit hold'em tables, cash games. I love to not risk a lot of money, relax, enjoy my time there, and play cash games in like a 9-handed table. 3-card poker is my favorite. Yeah, Daniel Negreanu would probably make an amazing trader in the futures markets. Steve Hollywood, cash games. I've started to play some tournaments lately, but I'm a cash game player. I'm all for the more you have on the line, the better it is for me. And the reason that being said is, and I don't want to say that this is being cocky or anything, but for me, when the person I'm going against has more on the line, I feel like I have an advantage because I'm disconnected with money, and I don't feel like I have an emotional connection to money, as say the majority of people do. And so I think that's the same with my trading. If I go on a challenge and say I challenge somebody to trading, then we have that fun and lighthearted, but the more you put up against me in trading, the more confident I am, because that means you have a lot higher probability of being more emotional in your trading, because I don't mind losing. I really don't. I've lost so much that I have such a disconnect from it, that hey, I put up all the cars I own in my house and my entire net worth up against another person, and I don't think that would affect my trading emotionally. But if somebody else would do the same, I don't think they'd be able to handle it. There's something to be said when it comes to pressure. And I think it's the same thing with Texas Hold'em. A tournament, you're just kind of playing with monopoly money, right? You do a buy-in, and yeah, they have a little bit, but if you are playing cash game, you're going after their money, and then, like, usually the 1, 2, 3, 5 cash games, those are the poker players who don't have big pockets, and they do care about their money. That sounded a little harsh. Man, that took a dark turn. Man, where did I go with that one? Wow, that was on camera, and that is now on the internet. Wow, yeah, putting pressure on people is fun. You really get to know who someone is when they're under pressure. You really do. I've learned more about someone when they're under the most pressure in life, in anything, than I ever do. Don't say I'm beating up the little guy. Everybody has free will. They know what they're doing. When I buy the market, the person on the other side knows that they're selling it, right? And vice versa. Anyway, well, guys, I think I'm going to end it here. I like I said, it's been a short week. I didn't have a day off. I've been streaming, and I've been on here every single night for you guys, which has been fun, and I've really enjoyed it. So I think I'm going to end tonight early again, and enjoy a nice little weekend. But here's the Nasdaq, a quick update on my Nasdaq trade. Give me a second to end the stream. Nothing's really changed. The trend is still down and to the right. I'm still looking for Nasdaq to sell off, and nothing's really changed. Just kind of consolidating here. Back down below the 40s, and like I said, my target for this trade is going to be 20,000 even. That's just a nice psychological level. And maybe there's something to be said at this 20,015. And so I'm also looking at this. There is some support in this zone. I might peel off a few of these contracts if we do get down here into the 20,017s. I'm not sure. I'm going to go have some dinner, and then I'll see where the market's at from there. But, I mean, you never know what will happen on here. But I mean, maybe I go back up and we're back up towards these highs, or maybe I finish dinner and we're already back down and having some volatility. And we know there's also the headline news risk. There is something that I have been paying attention. It could be one of those things that's called buy the rumor, sell the news. We seen what happened today with NVIDIA. NVIDIA finally had a red day, which was interesting. And then there's those little conversation that, what was it? Russia and North Korea. So who knows? Maybe something interesting might come out between tonight and tomorrow that could send us lower. You just never know. But I love the position that I'm in, and I'm going to manage this. And if we do start to sell off, maybe we see 20,000. Maybe we even see a break lower. Maybe we see the lows of today, or the New York session today, be tested. But all right, guys, I think that's it. Take care, everybody, and I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning for